and welcome to Zest with me, Shel, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute joy to welcome Aparna, a global recognized parent coach, meditation and breathwork teacher, and the founder of Beauty in Parenting. With over 20 years of experience supporting families across schools, hospitals, and non-profit spaces, she guides parents and caregivers to nurture calm, confidence, and connection within themselves and their relationships. Through her heart-led approach to communication, self-care, and mindful living, she reminds us that parenting and life isn't about perfection, but presence. So I am super excited for you to meet her, and I'm sure we will explore the art of gentle transformation and rediscovering the joy in the journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Shelley. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And I guess as it's just the huge underlying thing of what you're creating and doing, which I know there's so much more to that. I'd love to know what inspired you to really focus on parent coaching. Like, where did it all begin?
Parent coaching began, I will share that I've been supporting families now for over 20 years.
Wow.
I began in my teen years with volunteering at nonprofits and supporting families through helping them to find resources for food and electricity and shelter and clothing. And then I went on to study in high school psychology and human behavior. And that I really loved learning a lot about behavior and mental health and how that impacted relationships, especially in the family life. And then when I went to college, I studied psychology and child development and neuroscience, and really got to understand the relationships between the mother and the child too, especially as babies. And so I then went on to work as a preschool teacher. I worked in a lot of nonprofit organizations. The Boys and Girls Club doing after-school programs, the United Way. I worked in children's hospitals with children who had cancer and who were premature babies, as I was also a very premature baby too. And I dealt with a really stressful childhood as well. And so I went through a lot of emotional turbulence and ups and downs. I dealt with bullying, a lot of different things of just really not being connected to myself in the way that I wanted to. I had an enjoyable life, but I had a really stressful family life. And I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. And so later on, learning in college yoga and breathwork and mindfulness really helped me to tap into not only a community of others that felt peace and calm, but also connecting with myself in a new way and understanding and learning about my emotions. And so in 2016, I had a year where I switched from my 9-to-5 job as a preschool teacher to then creating Beauty in Parenting and becoming an entrepreneur. I went through a big life shift and really entered my spiritual phase. The universe really wanted me to do something else and empower. My mission is to empower so many families worldwide with calm. And this, for the past 7, 8 years, has really helped me to do so in a variety of ways, as you know. And so through parent coaching, through meditations, through talks and events, aromatherapy, I wholeheartedly have spent my life and my career devoted to supporting families and helping them to find calm and connection. And so thank you. So to answer your question, parent coaching came from loving being a preschool teacher and understanding, talking with so many parents about the behaviors at school and at home and how that was connected to how they were in their day, to recognizing that, hey, this has been really fascinating for me. What if I did this more locally and globally? What if I was able to do that? And so I started out, even in the year that I launched in 2018, giving a lot of talks, live talks and in-person talks and workshops to whoever wanted calm in a variety of ways. So parent coaching has been, and I have a parent coaching process with Beauty in Parenting called Wholehearted Parenting, where we work through in our online sessions, self-care and managing emotions, effective communication. We work on mindset and your growth mindset, your positive mindset, and truth. And it's
Yeah.
SCENT. Truth is the bigger picture of so many times a parent comes to me, a mom comes to me really stressed out. It's hard for them to mentally see the bigger picture and
Yeah.
that perspective of
Mm.
what's going on in their day-to-day life. So we work on that and noticing celebration too. I have a free self-care and priorities chart on my website that you could download. It's a one-page one, and it takes you through how you can prioritize work and school and all those things and simplify your life each week, but also at the end of each week or whenever, celebrating a win, some kind of
Yeah.
a win for yourself or with your family too. And it's always, I've loved having that I've loved offering that to hundreds of people in the past few years too. So
Wow, thank you so much. So first of all,
yeah,
thank you for some. I know
I know I just gave you a lot.
no, no, you didn't. No, not at all. Because it's beautiful because you've just given me a lot of foundation for us to discuss. So I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
and I think that that's good though that you flowed that way and everything all came out
Hmm.
and that's how it
Hmm.
should be. And
Yeah,
it's kind of ironic a little bit because actually I feel like in doing that it shows sometimes that even when we kind of do sometimes say it all at once, there's always that time to step
right,
back and go back again.
right.
So I
That's
feel like you almost gave your message
yeah,
in
I
you
almost gave
delivering, like,
it.
which
Yeah,
is beautiful.
right.
So first of all, thank you. I know you kind of skimmed over it, but nothing is ever skimmed over. We can read into further into it.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
for sharing your own background. And
Yeah,
I know, bullying, things like that, having a home life that's not somewhere where we always feel like we're relaxing or feeling
right.
sometimes
Yeah,
safe. I
yeah.
know that so I just want to first acknowledge you for addressing that because
Thank you.
I also believe that everything, and you will probably relate to this, that everything somehow in some way, even though when we're going through it, it does not feel like it,
Hmm.
seems to play its part in the unfolding of what we eventually really feel passionate and we
Yeah,
really want to improve in the world. And
right.
just listening to you and even you being in a school
Yeah,
in a hospital, so many
yeah,
different settings. It
yeah.
really shows that it wasn't just a job. It was already your calling. You might have been
Right.
getting paid, and even when you did the non-profit, even when you did after
Sure.
school, whatever else you
Yeah.
did. And I can see now how you have 100% led to the path that you're on today, because
Yeah.
I just feel nothing but love and you just want to
Thank you.
really, really help and support. And I think that's super beautiful. Um,
Thank you. Yeah.
and I actually really love because still I think these titles and labels sometimes really don't actually really do the justice of the foundation of the really
Hmm.
intense emotions that we feel. And that's why I love that you did say all of that, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think if you would have just answered, oh, parent coaching in da 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 da,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have really got that feel for who you are and what you're representing
Right.
and
Yeah.
and what you're creating in the world, which is incredible. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love it. And I something that you really said that was I felt really powerful was how you help parents, particularly mothers,
Hmm.
take a step back. Because
Yeah.
I know, and as someone who was in education,
Hmm.
even when they're not your children and you're in those
Hmm.
environments, until you have
Yeah.
physically been around children for nearly, what is it, 8 hours, whatever, plus
Sure.
sometimes after
10
school,
hours
whatever.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you're a mother as
Yeah.
well, they're beautiful, but they are not giving you 5 minutes, even break time, even lunchtime,
Yeah.
something always.
Yeah. Right.
And so I even feel like that actually really supported you in you getting to where you got
Hmm.
to as well,
Hmm.
because so many people say like, oh, but you're not a mother, you won't understand. But if you've worked with
Sure.
children, they
Yeah.
don't just turn
I don't know.
off. There's
I
not a
haven't been able
switch.
to, I know I haven't been able to count how many families I've supported,
Yeah, yeah.
over 1,000, but Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't, a lot of parents come to me being like, help me to find 30 seconds in my week
exactly.
this, right?
Like I
Without,
said to,
yeah,
sorry to judge you, but I said
yeah,
to
yeah.
someone once, because and it's again, they're all different jobs. There's no job that's better than any other job. We all have our own,
Yeah.
things that come up. But I remember them saying like, "Oh, I've had a really hard day today." They were doing a spinning
Mhm.
class, and I said, "Okay." Imagine in that spinning class, okay, you had adults. I said, imagine two are throwing water at each other. One's broken the wheel, the other's running
Mhm.
around throwing stuff,
Mhm.
and the other
Yeah.
one's tapping on you, saying, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And I said, and now fix your bike.
Right.
And it's
Right.
just like, people, like, I really think people cannot ever
Yeah.
really fully grasp it. And, they come in and they do the little observations, go, oh, they're so cute. And it's
I
like,
know. And that's exactly what would happen. Like I would be a teacher with a class full of students. They would, staff and others would come in being like, your kids are so cute. And I'm
yeah.
like, You haven't seen a lot of it." They
So
are really
I
cute.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, I can 100% see how, whether you intentionally, like notice that was something that really
Yeah.
like parents needed, but yeah, when you're in it and it's just that one's hungry, that one's this has just happened, that's fallen down.
Mhm.
Yeah, for you to actually self-regulate yourself and say, okay, I need to it's okay, just forget about the carnage right now. Can I just take 1 second to just zoom out a minute and just be like, breathe?
Yeah.
And that's the
I
thing.
know.
A lot of parents don't. They're just caught up in it,
Yeah.
and then before they know it, the kid's in bed, or maybe the kid was screaming. They've been up all night, and then they got to go to
Right.
work or something.
I know.
So I think it's incredible what you're doing. And even in the knowing, like having that kind of mindfulness to pause, or
Yeah.
to take some time to yourself, is an absolute game changer.
Yeah. It is really for not only your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. I mean, I
Mm,
tell you that I wish I would have learned breathwork and deep breathing and meditation
mm,
and consistently practice that many, many years ago. Obviously, in my childhood, that would have been a huge game changer to have a YouTube video then. That's the one time I'm like, I wish I had more screens at that time, but um, have something to watch that was really calming.
yeah.
But I also know that at that time I was blessed with a lot of different, more creative activities and
Mm,
art activities and music and sports and things that required me to step outside of my home or where I was and just enjoy what I could and be present with that too. And that's a lot of what
absolutely.
I help families find with, not only parents, but also I did a session last week with a mom who was needing self-care activities for her daughter and her young 7-year-old daughter who was just restless and
Mm,
couldn't sit still, just held on the mind. And it was beautiful just sitting there and walking through with her for 30 minutes, an hour, all the ways in the past that she has connected with her daughter and really
mm,
taking that time to breathe and remember the values and the goals that they have as a family in that connection and how
beautiful.
she wanted to actually connect with her daughter more too, and recognizing that that mom also really just wanted that peace for herself too. So we ended up
Mm,
finding activities for the daughter and for her and ways that they could connect to. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing. And that's what wholehearted parenting is about, is that not only is a parent coming to me for like my child is doing this, but we end up finding activities for the whole family that really
beautiful.
benefits them too or their partner.
Absolutely, because yeah, it's the whole family. Like as much as possible, and I'm sure you appreciate this. There's learning to have that time to yourself and taking that time to yourself, and then kind of just stepping back into it afterwards. Well,
Yeah.
that's not going to work long term, but like what you said,
Yeah.
if you kind of look at the dynamics, or like maybe the high energy child, or the child, whatever the
Hmm.
situation
Hmm.
is, finding a solution, and so then
Yeah.
it isn't all separate, like, oh, mommy needs her time, I need a break.
Hmm.
Instead,
Hmm.
like, actually, yeah, how can you incorporate it into something that you can all do? And I
Yeah.
think, Yeah.
Yeah, I think with kids, I also found over the years with doing parent coaching that kids really needed that support on being independent and self-sufficient. And the more that the kids, even the starting at whatever age, maybe 7 or 8 and going up, but like with chores, with
Mm.
organizing, with cooking, developing those life skills, right? That can help themselves and the family later on, so that you're not, I've had parents of teens come to me at 17, 18, about to go to college, being like, I wish my child would have learned these things too. I'm
Mm.
so worried about them, right?
And I
And
guess
so,
sometimes,
yeah,
yeah, sorry,
it
yeah,
depends. It depends. Obviously, not every family has the time to do all these things, and I understand that.
absolutely.
But yeah, you were saying?
No, I was just thinking when you said that, and obviously this is just an assumption that's come to my mind. It might not be like a realistic, but I think when you've kind of gone from literally having, your baby and
Mm-hmm.
doing everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there's also that like not meaning to not include them, but forgetting that, actually they can help now. They are
Yeah.
learning things.
Right.
And it's probably just that mode of like, I make the dinner or
Right.
something
Right.
and
Like letting go of that control, I think also is a stress reliever too. But yeah, I think sometimes moms do, parents do feel the guilt of relinquishing that control, letting someone else help. And that's a way of
absolutely.
receiving too.
Yeah.
And the ways that we receive in self-care, and receive things in life, it's that value of appreciating
Mm,
ourselves and who we have.
beautiful. Um, And I'd love, obviously, with you being a specialist in this area, I'd love your take on this. There's very much a big difference between, having a breathing out and having a more mindful practice of like, for example, and the only reason why this has come to mind is I remember, someone saying breathe in, breathe out. So I'm breathing in, breathing out, but I'm doing it my way. And then
Yeah.
the moment someone said 4, hold for 2, 6 out,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm then like, oh, it's not, I'm getting into the process of like, oh, actually, I found it tricky to start with all this. And then I realized, now I know why they say it to do it like that. It's not just about the
Right.
breathing, it's actually
Right.
coming out of whatever's going on in your brain. Because obviously,
Hmm.
if you've got stuff going around in your brain,
Yeah.
you've still got it in your brain. Whereas,
Yeah.
if you're now
Right.
focusing on the 4, hold, okay, and 6, you kind of, because you're focusing on that, you can't
Hmm.
really be focused on anything else. And I
Right.
know that's just a tiny, tiny example, but
Sure.
I'd love you to expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, with breath work and everything like that too, I have had a lot of clients come to me being like, I have heard about this, I don't know where to start with deep breathing. And I will say that pranayama, which is how I learned it, it's that life force that you have.
Mm,
Our breathing obviously is our life force, right? When we are babies, we breathe. And um, as I said, I really wish I was a very premature baby and all I did was breathe my first 3 to 6 months of life, right? To stay strong. And so I think doing that and recognizing now that breath work and that benefit of increasing our lung capacity and what we can take in is a really beautiful thing that
yeah.
I've had to really practice. And so with breath work, I love to, with clients, have this moments, and you can do this anywhere, where you are just kind of tilting your chin
Mm,
downward. Because I noticed that when we have our chin up, right, we are alert, we're focused, and we're present, and we're mentally active. But tilting your chin downward, as if, like when you're sleeping and relaxing and things like that, helps you to get sink deeper into that notion of, okay, this is something I'm going to, as if you're praying, right? Something I'm going to focus on right now. And so I love placing the hand on the heart if I can. And sometimes I'll place my hand on my belly or my knee or the floor, wherever I am. Whether I'm laying down and just inhaling. I like to inhale for about 3 or 4 seconds down through the belly and the chest. 1, 2, and 3. And then when I exhale, I actually teach my clients to go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just as a deeper way to 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that it's not about the numbers and it's just about releasing in that way too. And so I will say that it is a practice, and there are ways to get into it through, using aromatherapy, using music is a beautiful one. A lot of people have playlists that are really of instrumental music and other sounds, maybe nature noises that help them to, or noise canceling headphones if you're a parent, that helps you to tune out the world. And for those parents who are low on time, I say, try it a little bit in the shower. Try it for maybe, 5 to 30 seconds in the shower when you have that time, or right when you wake up too is probably the best thing for your day, or at the end of the day to release everything. But when parents are teaching their children to practice mindfulness, there are ways to trace the hand. As you trace over one finger, you inhale and then you exhale. Inhale and then exhale. And that gives you a lot of families I work with, they love having visuals or something sensory, like a sensory comfort object. So to answer your question, that's just one way that I love to help my clients get into mindfulness. And the goal really, even with meditation, the goal really isn't to completely quiet the mind. It's really to focus, I think, more on the body and the sensations we are feeling, and become that observer of whatever's going on in your mind. Like a cloud is a good, letting the cloud pass by, and letting it pass by, and not having to stay with that, not letting that affect us. That is a practice too.
Thank you so much for highlighting that, because I remember the first time I was exposed to it, and I remember whether it was some assumption I was making myself or whether it was explicitly said, I remember it being like, oh, clear the mind. And I was getting so frustrated about it because my mind was so loud. And I remember being like, well, this is not relaxing. This is not this. But I think you so beautifully highlighted it that I now notice that when I don't push my mind and I don't kind of give it a hard time, it actually starts to quieten anyway.
Right.
And
so when I learned breathwork, as I think I mentioned earlier, or maybe not, but when I learned breathwork, I learned it in conjunction with yoga at that time, vinyasa yoga, and more flow yoga. And so I was in those classes, and when you're learning yoga, that perfectionist comes out in you, right? You want to look great and feel great and get it right and be on time with everybody else and all sorts of things. But in the breath work, you learn over time, and I did this for about a year or two, this class, you learn over time that however you show up and arrive, that's okay.
Beautiful.
Whatever happens by the end of the class, that's just how it is.
Absolutely.
Right? And you're not having, I was lucky to have a wonderful teacher who was a friend of mine, but hopefully you are not sitting there at the end being, thinking that you're a failure.
Yeah.
Thinking that I could have done more, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the power of community. And whether you have community or you're practicing mindfulness on your own, really mindfulness does bring up a lot of these, I think, intrusive thoughts, these negative thoughts, these things that maybe sit in the back of our minds, not supporting us. And it really is about how you can let go.
Yeah.
Let go of all those things that are really not serving us.
Absolutely. And obviously you're in the moment earlier, so I didn't want to comment because I wanted people to be able to see the practice. But even when you carried out the practice, even just observing, not actually doing it myself, I felt so much peace. I was watching you
Yeah. I didn't
Um,
want you to fall asleep. I have a lot of clients, especially when I'm on the phone with them doing these mindfulness sessions, they'll end up falling asleep. And the first time I
I
started,
can
I'm like,
imagine. I
oh,
was very like, this is
I was like, I feel so
beautiful.
bad, right? And I'll have like with my wind chimes and like things I'm playing sometimes too, and they'll fall asleep, and then I'll talk with them about 10 minutes later, and they'll be like, that was so peaceful. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. And I'm like, you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that I was able to help them in that way too, because a lot of times for these caregivers, that is the most peace they're getting, and they'll
yeah,
be really well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know you so beautifully highlight that the importance of not just in parenting, but just in general. Like, we can't pour from an empty cup, can we? So the more we show up, the more we fill up our own cup. And like what we've said, there isn't always that luxury at first of it being quiet or having the time, but as much as possible, which is why I love that you
Yeah.
say that you think of the whole family, because in
Mm-hmm.
an ideal world, I'm sure most people would love to have that time to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, we have to be realistic to our own
Yeah.
situations. And so I
Yeah.
love that's something that you focus on, because even though, yes, they have to be mindful of the timing, so maybe the morning is quieter for them, they could use that time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
actually, what I really love that you do is you incorporate it into the whole
Yeah.
family, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, with that in mind, I know another thing that you really focus on is communication. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Effective communication. That is something I've definitely learned with my family, and
I think we're all
practice
still
growing
learning,
up.
aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I know we're all still learning every day, practicing that. I really focus on in my sessions, both verbal effective communication, and I will role play with them, like what's best for their family, how to talk through things,
Mm,
how to help a child when they're having a tantrum or a meltdown, how to help a partner when they're stressed out, and to prevent, to work on and also prevent and manage that argument. But we'll work on verbal communication, also nonverbal communication.
yeah.
How you're coming across, are you making eye contact? And granted, like I have some clients who are neurodivergent or on the spectrum, and eye contact is not a thing that happens too much. And so we look at the ways that you're connecting with your family member or yourself, even, and it really starts with you, of what you're saying to yourself, that
Mm,
tone of voice you're using with yourself. Growing up for so long, I had a hard time. I had a lot of social anxiety when I would go out and about. I had a hard time making eye contact with people. I didn't enjoy looking in the mirror. I
yeah.
wasn't smiling as much, and I had to train myself to smile more. I know we had, like, a long time ago in school, I had school pictures and things like that. And I remember just being stressed out about that because I didn't want to
Mm,
do that. Right. And so training myself to smile more, and, really understand within me what it feels like to connect with myself and communicate with myself in a more uplifting, connected, beautiful way. Right.
beautiful.
Growing up, and I encourage this with a lot of people who are going through the emotions, but I had a diary and a journal, as many did, and it was filled with a lot of anger
Yeah.
and a lot of resentment and frustration, a lot of anxiety. And it had a beautiful, I'm so grateful that we as a family, we had a lot of animals and pets around,
Mm,
that helped to lighten the load too. But so all my journals had like pictures of cats on them. And I'm still like, I still think of myself as that crazy cat lady, that wonderful cat lady. Um, but it's just like a something to look forward to too. And so it was a stress reliever. And so looking at verbal and nonverbal communication, how you're making eye contact, your tone of voice, it's really what your presence is like in the presence of another.
yeah.
And so we go through what that feels like, because usually with parents especially, they are feeling tense and frustrated and
Mm,
overwhelmed. They're
mm,
feeling not steady,
Yeah.
right? Much like that I told you all about that client with the daughter who's feeling restless. And so it's that restlessness. And I know for me growing up, I felt that restlessness all the time. And so even sometimes in my friendships too. And so it's about ways that you can manage within your mind and your body that sense of calm, that sense of
Absolutely.
peace and security
Yeah.
too. And it begins with you. Instead of, so when parents come to me and they're like, this is really stressing me out, we look at, we look at like what it is and how it's making you feel and how that behavior is triggering you and what you can do about it. And then how you can help to manage it with your family too.
Absolutely.
And help them, because
Yeah.
every family member is different. Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing that up,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think what you just really touched on
Yeah.
is a really key thing, because I know myself, like when I started like diving a little bit more into conscious communication, and you know,
Yeah.
you would get these like, so even for myself, like pause, breathe, take a moment, things like that, okay? But often it's very much about how I'm or the person's
Yeah.
responding. And I think what you so beautifully touched on, which is something that I noticed recently,
Yeah.
is one strategy for every person isn't actually in the highest good of everybody. And
No.
actually, when maybe you've had that, I just like to call it fire with fire relationship
Mm-hmm.
previously,
Mm-hmm.
maybe where it's
Right.
just so much passion and so much conflict
Yeah.
and stuff, for that person then all of a sudden to kind of, because the other person
Mm-hmm.
doesn't just go, oh, I forgot what she was like before,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
still remember. So then when you're kind of coming with that, sometimes that can be so
Yeah.
triggering for the other person,
Right. Right.
because then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's almost like you're high or mighty or something and being like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to react or respond, and it can
Right.
actually trigger them even more.
I know. I know. Yeah. That shift in the relationships can absolutely trigger something new, right? And so that's why I think I think for me as a coach, it's important for me to not only like give parents these skills, but also how to manage things when things fall off track or
Mm,
it's not going the right way. Obviously, when I'm working in a series of sessions with parents, we'll go through things, we'll try things, we'll find the right thing, we'll make sure it's working,
mm.
and then I help them to figure out like how can I continue this on in the future too,
Absolutely.
which is beautiful.
And another thing that you said that I think is really, really powerful and important is about, even when you reflected on yourself, about the eye contact and thinking
Mm-hmm.
back to being a very young teacher and hearing you go down to their level, you look into their eyes, and now thinking like of these children that have, some of them, you know, these big needs, and you're still
Mm-hmm.
learning on the job or something, or again being given that one strategy that might work for
Yeah.
most, but for others that's intense, that triggers them,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
them feel even more uncomfortable, or
Right.
there's the opposite that used to happen where children get nervous and they giggle, and then they're
Mm.
giggling in the parents or the adult space, and
Yeah.
then you see that as, you know, there's so
Right.
many like, yeah, there's so many different scenarios, and I think again you're just saying
Yeah.
so much wise words of just, yes, have a strategy, have a technique, try something,
Mm-hmm.
but don't always think that that's the only way. Like really
Yeah.
reflect on it, tailor it, and think, okay, I don't feel like that was the best approach.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, especially if I've had some parents and other clients I've worked with for over a year and a half, as time evolves and things shift, seasons shift, especially with children. Even 6 months, a year later, they'll be a completely new child.
Yeah,
They'll have different needs, different activities, all sorts of things, communicating differently, different struggles, and you want to learn how to work on that development for them. And I think you're right. I had the pleasure as a toddler teacher, especially, of being in a classroom of 14, 16 children, learning 16 different methods to help them to sleep.
yeah, yeah.
Child, right? And so you have to really try new things, and it's all really beautiful, and also to remember as a parent that as a caregiver, there's no right and there's no wrong,
Yeah, be
right? There's
kind to
no
yourself. Yeah.
right. Be kind to yourself and know that like all the ways that may be working for others, in comparison with others, that way that works for your family is what's best for your family, and that's what matters the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think going back to, I think because it's always good to explore both sides of, obviously
Yeah.
there's example, but as we know, there's not always one answer, one example
Right.
generally. So I think to explore the other side of,
Yeah.
we have to remember as well, consistency is key. So if your
Hmm.
house has been running in that way, or your classroom, your whatever setting it is that
You're right.
you're working on improving and bringing some more
Yeah.
calmness,
Yeah.
we also have to realize that this is like foreign territory as well. So
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
to go in and just, just trust and believe in the
Right.
process.
Right. Right. I know. It's even a whole process of introducing these new things to your family. And I obviously cover that with families of being like, how am I going to talk about this with my child
Mm,
or partner? How are we going to do this? And it's just all about that planning in advance, that communication, and instead of, just coming in there being like, this is how it is now, right? That's not going to work. But
beautiful.
when the family members are on the same page, and that's the goal, generally of some sort, teamwork is such a beautiful thing that becomes your own village. I love that.
Absolutely.
Bring that sense of teamwork. Yeah.
And again, once again, you just highlighted something really important. It goes back to, again, communication as well is so
Yeah.
important because, yeah, if the mother's going off having the sessions, but it's not really, is incorporating them, but not really having those clear conversations,
Yeah.
or whoever it is, and it's the same between an educator and a parent as well. Like,
Hmm.
it's that typical thing of, I've done all the groundwork or something, then they go home for the holidays and they come back. But if there's not that kind of
Yeah.
conversation between the two, and we're not on the same page or something, then yeah, it's just
It sort of goes off track. I understand that completely. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's incredible what you're doing. Obviously, please use this time to
Thank
share
you.
anything that you would like to share with any of the viewers, any things you have coming up, or any ways they can contact you. Obviously, I'll put all your details
Yeah.
in the show notes.
Sure. Thank you. I'd love to share. As I mentioned earlier on, I do have a free self-care and priorities chart available on my website, and the link will be there too, below this video for you all. It's just a beautiful, colorful chart that a lot of parents have downloaded on their phones or put on their fridges or walls, or desk, just to have a way to simplify their minds and their lives and stay on track with everything
Beautiful.
too, and enjoy their family life too. I offer now 30-minute sessions and 1 hour, as well as 1 hour sessions, and a package of 4 sessions for mindfulness or 8 for parent coaching to help with your needs. I offer 30-minute sessions because a lot of parents right now are short on time,
Mm,
or they may be short on finances too, especially here in America with a lot that we have going on with current events and the funding of things. And so a lot of people here are losing their jobs and dealing with financial crisis. So I wanted to be able to support them in the ways that I could. And I found that definitely even 30 minutes of support can be really, or even a 30-minute mindfulness session can be really impactful
yeah.
for others too. And so the information is on my website as well as some testimonials. Um, I yeah, I do want to say I do have some events like in the works as well too, for the spring. So stay tuned for that. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at Beauty and Parenting. I'm there all the time. So you can follow me wherever you
Beautiful.
are, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere. I have a Monday motivation newsletter that when you sign up to get my self-care and priorities chart, you can be on my mailing list. I've been sending out this newsletter for 7, 8 years consistently every
Wow.
Monday. And sometimes I will take some holiday breaks, but sharing some tips for not only, parenting or mindfulness or aromatherapy, updates for me, a way to ease into your week that so you're not having that dread on Monday
Mm,
mornings and feeling really overwhelmed. And so many have really benefited from that over the past 7 or 8 years. So that is there if you need some tips and need some help from me to support you as well too. And that's about it. I just wanted to share all of that too. If
beautiful.
you want to work with me or gather some of my free resources, I do have also on my website, lastly, a collection of my last 12 meditations. I release meditations like quarterly. And so I've got a little library of meditations, 5-minute ones for kids and adults. And these are videos, but you can listen to them and just enjoy them too, on a variety of topics that are calming. Some are for sleep, some are for releasing frustration, some are beautiful like visualizations. I've got a tree meditation, a beach meditation, all sorts of things to help you to just feel much more centered right
Beautiful.
now,
Thank
whatever
you so
season you're in.
much.
Thank you.
What a blessing. And just
Thank you.
before you go, I always ask my guests if there's something that you feel like someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
A lot of people come to me and talk with me about positive affirmations, and I will say that my favorite one is, hand on the heart, you're doing the best that you can. And I think that a lot of people, I always come across someone every now and then who really needs to hear that you're doing the best that you can. And that's
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, it's been such a pleasure
Yeah,
connecting with you. I love all that you're doing, and yeah,
thank
just
you.
keep shining. And I know you're changing so many people's lives, and it's been great having you. Thank you.
I so appreciate this beautiful podcast and all that you were doing, Shelley. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you.